This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Good Thursday morning to you. It is a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, SiriusXM channel 158. It's Gil Alexander. That right there is Kelly Bidlin, everybody.
Hey-o, how we doing?
Not just any Thursday, Kelly. Football. The beginning.
One of the greatest day on the calendar of the year.
Did you get more excited? This is a real question I'm about to ask you. Did you get more excited this morning or NFL draft morning?
Oh, man. Of course, we would ask each other those questions.
Yeah.
I've never heard that one before.
Yeah.
As much as we love the draft, I'm still going today. That's a good one.
Because it is today. That's why you're answering today. But I think if we asked this on NFL draft morning, you might have
a different answer. I woke up with a pep in my step. I only had 1 cup of coffee this morning. I didn't need the whole pot. I didn't need 3-4 cups because I'm ready to go. NFL's here. It's finally back.
We're firing
Let's
bets.
go. Well, I got one for you. What's better, Super Bowl or Week 1?
Oh, Week 1.
Week 1 for sure.
It's not even close.
Okay, good. As long as we're on the same page there.
Unless, of course, there's certain teams in it. And then otherwise, on the show today, Jensen Lewis from By the Books, the show that precedes us, will join us here, talk Major League Baseball momentarily, as we're in the home stretch of the 2025 regular season, and not much changes with the current playoff position, at least the last several weeks, last month or so. Those San Francisco Giants just 4 back in the NL. Don't look now. Tim Murray, co-host of VSiN Primetime and the college football podcast that he does daily now, not just weekly. They do it daily.
Daily, I think it's 3 times a week, right? I think I heard 3 times
a week.
But then he's got the tailgate show Saturday mornings.
It's a busy
Tim's
guy.
doing a great job with this stuff.
College football betting podcast, the college football tailgate show. Tim with all his college football thoughts for week 2. We can call that week 2 in college football because remember we start with week 0. Zach Cohen and then Crack. Zach and Crack is in the fold today. Zach Cohen, VSiN senior editor, with his thoughts on the U.S. Open and NFL week number 1, and then the Crack Man, Bill Krackomberger. An hour later, what we've been used to, he made that announcement last week here on the show. He will be here moving forward 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific for an hour.
Glad you brought that back up. It's probably something we should mention a couple times this hour for people that are waiting.
I know there's probably a couple people in the audience, or at least a good couple, a small percentage are like, oh, come on, I got to go to lunch then.
There definitely is.
Yeah. But that's how the cookie crumbles.
There's definitely multiple that tune in on Thursday at this time and be like, all right, let me get through these 2 jabronis for an hour.
Maybe we'll just have Kelly imitate Crack for an hour.
Remember we were going to do the fake show announcements? Oh. And I was like, that was one of our options. Like, Crack replaces Kelly. And I was like, that's not a funny joke. I might run myself out of a job.
Real quick before we get to football, because a couple things happened yesterday. Well, first of all, this does have to do with football. The Megapod debuted yesterday. The Beating the Book Megapod, Beating the Book podcast.
Looked great.
Starting its 15th season as a podcast. I know what you're thinking. It's like, a podcast been around for 15 years? We have been. Beating the Book Megapod in its 15th season. Todd Wishnev's 7th season. Will Hill's 3rd season on the show. Steve Fezzik was the week 1 guest. We also have a rotating guest. And we did live from the SiriusXM studios at the Wynn yesterday. And it is just
looks beautiful,
fantastic. They did a great job. Shout out to everybody here, Isaiah Wrinkle, Wyatt Tomchek, and everybody at the Sirius Studios. John Goulet, our buddy, Jeremiah Crow, Brian doing the audio there. So it just went great, and the hilarity ensued. That's all I have to say. It's a heavy dose of Wishnev as well in there. So the response has been great based on the downloads. Also on YouTube, it's available on YouTube. It's multiple streams, and I'll go through the picks that I had anyway, and I'll let you listen to the podcast for everybody else's, as we are very competitive with the picks there on a year-to-year basis. The other thing was, of course, the U.S. Open. The U.S. Open yesterday, good and bad. The good, another 2-0 clean sheet in the match play. Yannick Sinner, easy peasy under 32 games against Lorenzo Musetti last night. Straight set win. And then earlier in the day, Felix Auger-Aliassime as a plus 133 dog gets it done against Alex de Minaur. So, 6 out of the last 7. up 19 units since the last couple days of grass and match play.
Nice.
On the future side, however, remember that Iga 9-1 that we hit at Wimbledon? Well, we gave some back yesterday on the future side of it. As Iga loses in straight sets to Amanda Anisimova in the quarters.
Man, she looked good.
Amanda Anisimova. I said it yesterday during a numbers game. I don't know if you caught it. Where I'm like, I feel like she comports herself much better today. I had a strange feeling. She's a big hitter. And she's,
I caught that with Osaka when we were talking about that yesterday.
So that's
for sure.
So that's the other one. So the other one is Iga loses to Amanda Anisimova. Iga's serve departed. So that was a big deal. And then, by the way, Amanda was better than her. She was also luckier than her. She had a couple net chords on huge points, even match point where Iga's like, "Are you kidding me?" And Amanda's like, super sorry, not sorry kind of thing. So she was all things better than Iga yesterday. And then at night, Karolina Muchova was our 14-1 play in the quarter, Q3. She played fine. She played maybe even very well. But Naomi Osaka was hitting lines left and right. She was just out of control great yesterday.
She's been awesome. It feels like every time I've watched her this tournament, she looks like she's playing some of the best tennis she's played in a while. I mean, like, is she gonna make a push here?
Trivia question: who's won the most women's slams of active players besides Iga? It's Naomi Osaka. She's won 4. They're all on hard courts. 2 at the U.S. Open. Today is the women's semis, and it is in the it's none in the morning. They're both at night. Begins with our play. I am on the over in the Pegula-Sabalenka semi. Jessie Pegula, the only other American alive besides Amanda Anisimova. Jessie Pegula going up against the world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka. I think Pegula comports herself well here. Might even have a shot to win, but it wasn't enough for me to go crazy on that. But I do think it's competitive. Over 21.5 as we look to hit our 7th out of 8 on the match play side. So Pegula-Sabalenka over 21.5 in the first of the 2 semis. And then it's Naomi and Anisimova, which will just be rockets back and forth at each other.
That one's tightly lined. Osaka minus 120 favorite in that. And then you have Sabalenka minus 300, plus 230 coming back on Jessie.
Yep. Over 21.5 Pegula-Sabalenka is the one play in the women's semis. As we always say here, this is the decency of tennis. Is not only is it awesome, but it has the elegance to then move out of the way once the football season starts in terms of where the slams begin and the slams end. And so, which brings us to tonight's game, Philadelphia and Dallas, the kickoff of the National Football League season, where this line has bounced between 7.5 and 8.5 this morning, back and forth.
I cannot believe how much movement we have seen on this game over the past couple days.
It's almost as if adding tens of millions of people to the sports betting world via legalized wagering has caused these things to light up like a Christmas tree late. That's exactly what's going on.
I'm losing track of days now. When did I talk about laying 7 with that? Was it Tuesday or Monday?
I don't know. I
feel like it was Tuesday.
Too.
Whatever. I feel like it was Tuesday. And then immediately it shot back up yesterday, and there was Eagles. I mean, I saw 9 nines hit the board at points yesterday. And then, there was a late wave of Cowboys money last night driving this back down.
Well, this morning, bouncing back and forth. 8 is the consensus. I'm just going to guess, and by the way, I'm not good at this, but I guess it's going to land 8 at the end. Feels like an 8.
Yeah, I think 8.5.
Eagles, 8-point favorites, total 47.5. I don't have a play. This was not one of my best bets on the Megapod. This is not a play I have in any of my accounts. It's not something that I gravitated towards. Last year, I don't even know if we can use those as a barometer. The Eagles crushed the Cowboys twice, but Dak Prescott did not play in either of those games. Obviously, Micah gone from the Cowboys defense. Kenny Clark in. I don't think we're talking enough about him, how he could improve the Cowboys rush defense. I mean, how can you not?
Right, he'll shut down Saquon Barkley, obviously.
I don't know if that's going to happen. But at least Dallas has that going for them defensively. Eagles, no Kellen Moore as the offensive coordinator. Kevin Patullo, though, was hired, promoted from within, as they say. Is now the offensive coordinator going up against Matt Eberflus, the new Dallas defensive coordinator. When last we saw Matt Eberflus, he was botching timeouts on Thanksgiving.
It's got to be a coaching staff you have a lot of confidence in Dallas.
Sure. I don't know. I have no. You know what? By the way, you getting the paint inhalation again in here?
Yeah.
Just now as I'm speaking, I'm getting.
Yep.
I I don't know how I can quantify this other than saying this is sort of a Malcolm Gladwell blink thing. I feel like this is going to be a high-scoring affair. I don't know, and I can't really tell you why I think that, and we don't have much. Like, the only time Jalen, I get this from Nate Tice over at Yahoo, the only time that Jalen Hurts ever went up against a Matt Eberflus coordinated defense, he had the most air yards per dropback of any game of his entire career. And then that one game, and this is a few years ago, so read into it what you will, 3 touchdowns on 17 attempts, and he threw for 315 yards. But he did have 2 picks and a poor dropback success. In other words, he was great on big plays, but wasn't really moving the chains. Mm-hmm. And I just think about the Cowboys secondary here. And on one side, you will get Trayvon Diggs, but on the other side, you get this kid from the Bills. Remember Ka'ir Elam?
Oh, Ka'ir Elam. I know well, yes.
Yeah, I think Jalen Hurts exploits the heck out of him tonight. And so I just think the Eagles will have no issue scoring. I don't think the Cowboys offense, say what you will about everything else, but man, they certainly got weapons now with George Pickens there, and I think Dak is going to sling it around the yard. I just feel like a lot of points are going to be scored here. But I'll be honest with you, I do not have a play in the account yet.
I teased down the Eagles yesterday. Did put in a couple small teasers. We talked about that earlier in the week. I usually don't like to go heavy with teasers, parlays early in the season, but man, there were some games on the board that I couldn't look past yesterday when numbers hit. So
it's a lot of teaser legs that look good this week.
I have Eagles, Bills. I played a 6.5 point teaser, took them up to 7.5 Bills. So I anchored a couple teasers around that.
All right, we'll get to all our picks. Mm-hmm. We have made plays. Let's talk some baseball next, though. Jensen Lewis from By the Books. All things MLB on a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
If you're serious about football betting, VSiN's got your weekend game plan. Fridays at 7 p.m., it's the Circa Friday Football Invitational. Saturday morning, VSiN's College Football Tailgate Show at 9 a.m., breaking down matchups, props, and big-time bets. Later that night, join the Football Contest Show as the sharpest betting minds give you their picks for Sunday's game. And Sunday at 9 a.m., lock in with Mitch and Pauly on VSiN's Pro Football Tailgate Show. Your final stop before kickoff. Check out the full lineup at VSiN.com and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
So, Pauly, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah, came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole nine, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's Late Night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
Coming up on the next Money Moves, week 1 of the NFL has officially arrived. We're previewing Cowboys-Eagles on opening night. We'll also have RotoWire's Jeff Erickson on to break down all the prop betting angles ahead of opening weekend. And from our new Fade Us Sports podcast, professional poker player Brandon Cantu joins Money Moves to get his thoughts on week 1 and beyond. It's all happening starting at 2 Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, right here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
A special numbers game investigation reveals that the NFL is officially back tonight. Woo! There's still time to get ready to bet smarter. Inside VSiN's NFL Betting Guide 2.0, you'll find post-preseason team updates, proven betting systems, contest strategies, and host best bets for Week 1 and beyond. Pair with the College Football Betting Guide and get both for as little as $9.99 for your first 30 days. Subscribe now at vsin.com/subscribe.
I think I punched in 4 Week 1 bets into the website this morning.
You punched them in, and when you do it, you do punch them in.
That's right.
Heavy-handed.
Well, I'm technically lying. I punched in 2. Danny punched in 2.
Did you punch in
Danny
my 3?
Might have typed in lightly. Yes, he delicately typed in your 3. Yes.
All right. Nice of me to make something beyond a tennis pick once in a while.
Yeah.
Football and tennis, baby. VSiN.com/picks. VSiN Pro subscribers get them all. I'll tell you who else you get your picks from. Not only, of course, you do from every host and every guest on the network, but there are certain hosts and VSiN personalities who bet more in volume than others. I would say Wes Reynolds is the most voluminous when it comes to that. The biggest volume shooter of everybody. Voluminous?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I believe it is.
That's a great, wow.
Yeah,
Well done.
Yeah,
well done.
You're quite welcome. You know who's second? Jensen Lewis, I would say, from By the Books, which precedes us each and every weekday here on the network. He, of course, does it with Captain America, Dave Ross. Jensen joins us now, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. Jensen, what's happening?
Hi, boys. Great to be with you. And yes, voluminous, very Vanderbilt word, Gil, right there. Voluminous.
Thank you.
Like that usage. Well done all the way around.
The Harvard of the SEC.
What is it? Ben Wilson called Missouri, where he went, the Harvard of Boone County. The Harvard of Boone County, Missouri. All right, Jensen, let me just say this. I have been betting these monthlies all year. I did last year. First half of last year was great. Either won them or flirted with winning them. Since then, it has become progressively more of a joke, to the point now where it feels like the teams that I bet on a monthly basis are trolling me. So I bet the Padres in May. It was the only month they stunk. I bet the Rangers last month, perfectly situated within offensive explosions before and after that. And now here I come to September, and I'm like, oh, it's the Padres. And as soon as I bet them, right, 0-3 against the Orioles right out of the gate. They're not winning this division, are they?
I don't think so. And the inconsistency is alarming here, Gil, because when you think about how they're constructed, if they're in a wild card series, anything goes, right? And so you kind of want to be that hot team that's moving into that first round in October. And as you kind of look at where they are, the home record is great. So you'd want them to be a top wild card team. If they drift to that 5 or 6 seed, I think they're in trouble. They're 6 games under 500 away from Petco Park, and it's a distinct advantage for that team that would be hosting them, because if you get to that starter, and whether it is Dylan Cease or it is Yu Darvish, however they're going to try and figure it out there, Mike Schilt has got a problem if he cannot get to that bullpen early and often.
If I came to you from the future, and by future I mean right as the regular season ends, and I said, hey, Jensen, one team on September 4th that was not in first place in their division ended up winning that division, who am I talking about? Who's the most likely, do you think?
It's going to be crazy, but it's going to be the Yankees for me.
I think so, too.
And all that predicated off, we get the Roman Anthony news with the oblique, and I know people were holding their breath and hoping it was just a couple of weeks. Gil, I've been around enough guys, and more so on the pitching side, but it's predominantly worse here when you get to a position player. It's not just the swing, it's to be able to run. So that's a massive injury for the Red Sox, and I don't know how they recover from that from a position player and a leadoff hitter standpoint. He was so dynamic for them. So enter the Yankees. And if you go back to probably the last 4 to 7 years of teams that get to the World Series, they're in the top 4 as far as home runs hit. They're also in the top 7 in fewest hits allowed. And so when we get to October, things that you must have from a pitching staff standpoint, you create a lot of swing and miss, and you're able to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Now, I know a lot of people that are looking at the back end of that Yankee bullpen saying, are you watching the same games we are? Yes, I am. Devin Williams feels very brittle right now. David Bednar, hang in there. You know, there's a lot of angst if I'm Aaron Boone. But I think to answer your question roundaboutly, of any team, I think it would be the Yankees that are able to find their stride here through the rest of September. And ultimately, if they were going to win a division, it would be the Yankees in the East.
Let's go, Yanks.
Hey,
Let's go, Yanks.
My little buddy Kelly Bidlin has some bets, as you can tell.
Let's go,
Jensen,
Yanks.
on the Yankees.
Bet him at the worst possible time to win the division.
That's right. It's called a minus EV bet when he bet it, but it's okay. I hope I get there for him. The other funny thing is here also is, not funny, but in the year where we all kind of acknowledge none of us would be surprised by anyone getting to the World Series and winning the World Series, wouldn't it just be amazing if it ends up being the Yankees and the Dodgers after all this?
It would. And again, I'll answer the same way with the Dodgers. I am not sold on their bullpen by any stretch. If you tell me I've got to win a game right now as both bullpens are currently constructed between the Yankees and the Dodgers, I would lean the Yankees, just feeling like they have enough pieces to get it across the line. I don't know if I can say that right now, Gil, for where the Dodgers bullpen is. And that should be alarming, knowing that you're going to have to figure out what your rotation is, who's healthy, who's going to transition back there. So for whatever reason, they figured it out last year when it was, Yamamoto, Jack Flaherty, and then bullpen games. So if any team can do it, the Dodgers can. But I think there are serious questions there. I'll tell you the other one. I loved the way Milwaukee was constructed, but the McGill flexor strain, I don't like whatsoever. It's at this point in the year, and if you look at his mechanics, it is not, physiologically one that you just ultimately bounce back and you're going to be okay. I know he's downplayed it, but man, I think I've been around long enough to know anytime you get into that area at this late juncture of the year, I would have a little bit of a red flag up about the Brewers bullpen too.
Who'd you land on today, Jensen, in terms of your plays?
Just a one play. It's an under in that White Sox and no one will be watching this White Sox and Twins game. And I don't even know if anyone in the stadium will want to watch it either, but it's a Taj Bradley, hope it's the right Taj Bradley here for the Twins. And the White Sox have played a lot better. I was just in Chicago this past weekend. There's a lot of promise and a lot of optimism among Southsiders. I think they really like watching this young group, and this young group will be motivated to be playing well throughout the end of the year. I don't think anyone's motivated for the Twins right now, so they may just roll it out there and just say, let's get this one done. So I played the under 8.5 here at $1.10. I do think this one could be a lot of alacrity, to use a Vanderbilt word. I think this one goes quite quickly. I don't know if we get a lot of offensive explosion there. And so for me, that's the only one I landed on. And I had some fun. I played a Phillies money line and Eagles money line parlay. I know Ranger Suarez has had his ups and downs, but I like his last three starts. The Eagles, Super Bowl champs are 10-2, straight up last 12 on opening night. So just a little fun one for a half unit, Phillies money line, Eagles money line.
Phillies money line, Eagles money line, a brotherly love money line pair there. Real quick, back to the Dodgers thing, because I don't want to let that slide for a second. If you had to rank bullpens of the 12 teams that are currently in the playoff position, what are they, like 8th or 9th? Like, they can't be higher than that, right?
Yeah, I think, man, and the Tigers bullpen scares me too, because they're dead last in strikeouts per 9 as far as their bullpen goes. The Phillies bullpen scares. I don't know. I think the only bullpen that if I needed to get 3 outs right now, it would be the Red Sox, or even 6, because I'll throw Whitlock in there. I think the Red Sox with Chapman as the best reliever in baseball so far this year, I think that's the one bullpen on the American League side. I'll throw the Astros in there, but without, a timeline of potentially having Hader into October, I don't like that. So the Red Sox, surprisingly, are the one bullpen I trust. If you're a Ryan Helsley fan, boy, do I feel horrible for you, because this has been just a train wreck for the Mets here. So of those 12 teams, Gil, I would say the Red Sox would be one, and then probably the Mariners are a close number 2.
Yeah, by the way, the Aroldis Chapman stats this year, like if anybody, if any casual baseball fan has lost track of Aroldis Chapman, he has never been better. Like, it's just insane what he's doing this year in terms of hitless innings in a row. Literally, like, I went down a Cy Young, I'm not talking about the award, I'm talking about the actual Cy Young, deep dive the other day, because Cy Young has the record for the most consecutive hitless innings and the most consecutive hitless batters faced. Aroldis isn't there yet, but like, we're starting to get to that conversation the longer this goes. It's amazing.
I'll give you a quick 30-second story. So I was in AAA with Columbus, with AAA for Cleveland. He was coming up with Louisville, and I was the first base coach at one of those innings he was in. I've never been more fearful for my life of right-handed hitters so late on 101, 102. And Gil, the most fascinating part, this guy has kept himself in utterly premium physical condition to do what he does, to throw as hard as he does for as long as he has. It is one of the modern myths. I credit him so much for keeping himself in tip-top shape. And the best thing of all, guys, the reputation of him being a fabulous teammate could not be higher. He's one of the greats. And boy, what an exclamation point right here at the end of his career.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's right around, I'll get the exact number here, but it's right around 50 consecutive batters faced, something like that, without giving up a hit.
Wow.
Yeah, it's insane.
Well, Jensen, we appreciate the alacrity you bring to your segments every
That's
time.
right.
Thank you so much.
To the point. Thanks, boys.
Jensen Lewis at JLew50 on the old Twitter machine. NFL, our bets week 1. Those that we've made, those that we're considering to add next.
There's no better time to join VSiN Pro right now. Get started for just $9.99 for your first 30 days or save 50% off with an annual subscription. As a Pro user, you'll get our newly updated NFL betting guide as well as the college football betting guide, the ultimate playbook packed with expert picks, team previews, and best bets. Plus, you'll unlock exclusive features like real-time betting splits, daily best bets, and full access to the VSiN Watch app. Don't miss out. Head to VSiN.com/subscribe and join us on the Sports Betting Network. Get your edge this season with VSiN's College Football Betting Guide, exclusive to VSiN Pro subscribers. It's packed with 136 team previews, preseason top 25 rankings, and best bets from our experts. Pro subscribers also get the NFL Betting Guide, daily best bet emails, exclusive splits, and full access to our premium betting tools. Sign up now at VSiN.com/subscribe for just $9.99 for your first 30 days. Or save 50% with an annual Pro subscription and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN,
the Sports Betting Network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
As the official horse racing partner of VSiN, First Bet is built for bettors who demand more. First Bet isn't just about placing a bet. It's about helping bettors of all levels, that is, with proprietary AI handicapping tools that provide data-driven insights to help you make smarter bets. First Bet's in-app tools give you win, place, and show probabilities for each runner so you can quickly and easily identify good value plays and improve your ROI. Right now, you can take advantage of their limited time $250 sign-up offer. To claim your bonus, use promo code VSiN250 when you sign up in the First Bet app or at firstbet.com. That's promo code VSiN250. I just wanted to follow up on that. This is for baseball geeks. Joe Pita was the first one to bring this up to my attention. Then I did a whole deep dive on Aroldis Chapman this year. So the record in the history of Major League Baseball for the most batters in a row faced without giving up a hit is Cy Young, the guy that the awards are named after. 76 batters in a row without giving up a hit.
It's pretty good.
Aroldis Chapman, currently 46 batters in a row. So he's 30 batters behind Cy Young for the all-time record. Yes. If you want to do it by innings, Cy Young, depending on who you believe, because there's some doubt here in terms of how many innings this was.
Oh, my God.
It's either 23, 24, or 25 and a third innings in a row. Depends on who you go after. But Aroldis right now is at 13 innings. Inning streak of no hits given up.
I was just going to ask you, how old is Aroldis Chapman at this point?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask me how old Cy Young was. He's very old.
He is Chapman, even older than I would have guessed. I think I would have guessed 34, something like that. 37 years old.
37, I would have guessed. Yeah, 37. By the way, Adam Schefter reporting we have another deal in Denver. Nick Bonito and the Broncos reached agreement today on a 4-year extension worth up to $120 million. Including $70 million guaranteed. Bonito is now the highest-paid non-quarterback in Broncos franchise history in a deal negotiated by, I guess that's Tory Dandy of Athletes First. The Bonito, there are some games where he makes play after play after play for that defense. Yeah, so he gets
lock him up.
He gets his bag, as the kids say.
Yep,
from the Broncos. We get tweets at Beating the Book. A lot of love for the Megapod, Kelly. James Fessler. You are expected to bring a prop bet next week, laughing emoji, and maybe a plate of babkas also for Todd to enjoy while filibustering. Todd was scolding me for not having a prop ready. Nick Kendhammer, your ability to not swear on your main show but be in studio and swear on the Megapod is truly impressive. Or Kelly and the team behind the glass are amazing at the dump button. Also, Todd, you're purple. That was something else that happened. Michael Harrison, oh, that's something else. I'm sorry about that one. This is SN right about the Megapod. Funny, informative, and surprisingly cathartic as he's taking down all the picks. JC, 7 seasons. Well done. Thank you, sir. The Olivia, Mike Kiki. Sounds like a stacked lineup for week 1 picks. Always smart to get that early edge, especially with Fezzik's contest pedigree. Markets will be buzzing after this drops. James Robinson quoting an exchange on the Megapod. Fezzik, Giants +6. Best bad team that could be good. Me, go blank yourself. Fezzik. Sounds reasonable. Welcome back, he says. Scott C. At C. Scotty Book 17. I love that the Megapod can be so informative and so much fun. It may be more entertaining than the games for me. You guys are awesome. Man, that is really nice. Thank you. Stu Magoo. Todd sings and immediately scoffs down 3 nugs. Meanwhile, Will is stashing dead bodies behind green screens. Happy 15. Thank you. Lance Schaefer. At our fantasy draft, he says, a guy picks Caleb Williams in the 5th round and immediately after started choking on a chicken wing. He's not kidding. So that happened at his fantasy draft. A portent of things to come, perhaps.
How do you choke on a chicken wing?
Well, here's what happens, Kelly. You take that bone from the chicken wing, I'm guessing, and somehow it gets lodged.
Yeah. Don't eat the bones.
Well, I'm just telling you.
Don't eat the bones.
Vegas Valkees.
Pro tip of the day.
Cheers, Gil. Don't tweet much anymore, but always listening and tailing. Impressive tennis run, sir. Thank you. He says, hashtag bring on Survivor. And Las Vegas 514, yo, I can't believe yesterday was the first time ever I listened to the Megapod. A F-bomb from you, a B from Wishnev. Definitely quality programming. I will not miss another one. Coach Brian, I agree 1,000% with Kelly about waking up with a pep in the step. I'm teaching with a little extra energy this morning. My students are looking at me like, what's up with Mister?
Let's go.
Larry Fresh, the Megapod, did not disappoint. Thank you, Larry. Tim Bowers, nothing like firing up the podcast at 6 a.m. and being bombarded with Todd singing right away. Who needs coffee as a jolt to wake up for the day? And then Vegas Valquise also, and another winner, he says, last night from, he said, Gil the Goat, thank you. Have a great show, sir. Working and listening at my desk. Talking about the Sinner Under yesterday. Oh, and Paul's saying, no Drew this week. Drew is doing the honeydew thing. Drew will be back in his normal spot here next week. He's doing that thing that he does before football season where he's like, honey, where do you want to go? And he takes his wife on a trip, and then he's good through January.
I saw him tweeting out something. He was flexing I think they did the deep dive pod back their normal routine. He was flexing with the background shot he had of what bay is it over in Maui? The famous one? I'm putting you on the spot. You're Mr. Maui. Whatever. He had beautiful Maui beaches behind him in his shot for the deep dive.
It was a bay rather than the Pacific Ocean.
Well, yeah. I mean, but
was he on the Wailea side? He feels like a Wailea side.
Yes,
kind
I
of guy.
believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay. As far as my picks on the Megapod yesterday, and these are picks I then put into the account yesterday. I have talked about them in some context here. They will be 3 of my 5 contest picks as well, Kelly. I am on the Atlanta Falcons, plus 2.5 points, and that line is moving, so glad I got it when I did.
I bought off my Bucs side this morning.
You did?
Yeah. Okay, I bought off 2 bets this morning. That is... Bucs, Falcons, whatever, I won't have nothing to do with anymore. That is... I respect some of the people that I've heard on the Falcons. The Bucs, I was expecting some of these guys to play who are going to be held back, or when I made that bet... It looked like maybe Wirfs and Godwin were going to be ready for this game.
Wirfs is out, Godwin is out.
Yeah, so I bought off that, and I bought off that Giants under. Like Stevie Fezzik said,
season long. Yeah.
I'm coming around on that one, too.
So I took the Falcons plus 2.5. And on the Megapod, I went through all of Cleve's amazing analysis of the Falcons and Bucs seasons from last year, how the Bucs got the best of everything, and the Falcons got the worst of everything. Falcons plus 2.5. You're giving me the points, home division game like that? Sure, I'll take them. Speaking of a division game, this one on the road, though, the Lions plus 2.5 at the Packers. Got this yesterday, and a few cents more of extra juice here on these. But what I said on the Megapod was this. I feel like the Chiefs and the Lions, because of their endings last year, right? Mm-hmm. Chiefs getting blown out by the Eagles in the Super Bowl famously, that people have forgotten they've been to 5 out of the last 6 Super Bowls and have won 9 straight AFC Wests. And I kind of feel this way about the Lions. I get it. Washington came in there and smacked down the Lions. And so I concede they don't have their coordinators, right? Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. That doesn't always work out well if you lose your coordinators. It really doesn't. I concede all that. But I'll take the points here against a Packers team that, I don't know, I'd like to see. It's very possible the Packers are going to be as good as everybody says they will be. But until I see it, I'll happily take those points on the Lions. And then the other one I bet was the Steelers, which I've been talking about here for most of the summer here. I don't understand this line. I got it at 2.5 on the road against the Jets. I feel like this is the Steelers' last stand with these group of older players, and I think they win this game. So those are my 3 that I've made so far.
I forget who I heard bring this up, but it's a ballsy one, but I like it, of the Steelers as a possible survivor selection this week. If you want to get real gutsy early.
That is gutsy.
Yeah. But
survivor's a whole other thing.
Because it's one of those, and the point was, there's not going to be many other times you're going to want to use the Steelers this year. Right. And they were very confident in this side this week as well. So thought I would bring that up. The Chiefs one, I heard you say that on the Megapod yesterday about the Chiefs and the Lions. Yeah. I think it's a good point. Isn't it such a good example, though, of us as bettors and how we view a season versus how maybe the average Joe? I mean, 100%. What did the Chiefs finish with last year? How many wins? Yeah. I mean, they had a ridiculously good record, but we all think about, those one-score games and the point differentials, right, and they didn't cover and stuff like that.
As if Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes might not have anything to do with that, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's wild, but I agree with you. I think there's a very good chance there are teams that I push above the Lions at some point. But as we did our power rankings last week, I think you got to start the season with Eagles 1, Lions 2, and everybody else prove it, right?
Yeah, we both did.
I'm not saying someone else could push those teams, but for the start the season, I got to go Eagles 1, Lions 2. Okay, that's for me, week 1. Added a bunch today. Okay, teasers. Did 2 teasers. went smaller on these than I usually do. I don't like to do a lot of teasers parlays early in the season. You will see me play a bunch of them later in the season. Bills down, Eagles down to 2 tonight. Bills up to 7.5. Played a 6.5 point teaser on that, and then Broncos down to 2.5. Bills up to 7.5. 2 teasers for the week for me. Dolphins joining Will on the Dolphins side, playing the money line with the Fins. I am also these two teams kind of, well, one of them definitely does. The Colts kind of do, except I don't like Daniel Jones as much. They would check the box of the I can't possibly look unders on these teams. So I played an over in that game as well. Dolphins, Colts, over 46. Secondaries are awful. The skill position players are great on both sides. Daniel Jones, yes, I need to step up and have a good game. But I think that total's a little low. Cardinals early in the year, 4.5. 49ers money line. I'm going to add to that at some point at Gil. I want to see where that game moves.
I'm laughing because I'm like, and it's week 1, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not even done. Panthers, Jaguars over 46.5, and Giants plus 6.5. Let's go, week 1 NFL.
I'm so pumped. I will be adding teaser legs as well, teaser plays, because there's a whole bunch of legs that I love.
Yeah.
It's Thursday, week 1, and we are firing. Tim Murray on college football next on A Numbers Game.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
Join the guru, John Hansen, at the intersection of prop betting and fantasy sports on Prop Points, only on VSiN.
And shout out to Elijah Moore as well. Oftentimes he's Elijah less. Keep in mind, Sean Payton is evil for fantasy football.
John and his guests will help you find the connection between the two and give you his expert advice on how to capitalize when a number is too good to pass up. Prop Points, weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on VSiN, the sports betting network.
VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Need a proxy? Well, you better get around to it. I don't know if you know this, but football season starts tonight. You can join the world's biggest football contest with one trip to Vegas anytime before the season starts. Trusted by thousands of players over the last 9 seasons, Winner's Circle Proxy Service helped clients win over $9.3 million last 2 seasons. Learn more about using a trusted proxy service. Visit winnerscircleproxy.com/VSiN. And of course, with the Circa contest, even if you lose tonight or tomorrow, you can still re-up. So even if you have 10 survivors, let's say, tonight, you lose. Let's just play it hypothetically. Then you re-up tomorrow, you lose again Friday night. You can still re-up for 10 more after that.
So it's really easy, Gil. You just go 10 on the Cowboys tonight, and then you 10 on the Chargers tomorrow, and then see where you're at on Saturday.
Kelly's got to figure it out.
Besides down $20,000.
We get tweets at Be in the Book. Bob Heening. I have Gil yelling, can I finish a sentence at over 5.5 this season? So it was nice to get one out of the way early week 1. Jody Boggs. Wow, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I wish I was more like Todd Wishnev and not give a blank what others think. Great first Megapod with Gil, Will, and Fez. Shooter McGamblin. Nothing says football's back like the return of the Megapod. And yes, once again, I'll be tracking for the Dumbo of the Year award. Raheem Morris and Nick Sirianni open as your short shots, both at plus 150 respectfully. And Nick Shea. Todd and Gil bickering like an old married couple on the Megapod. Football season has officially returned. Yeah, we have that in our DNA. I will admit that. And this is from, oh, I already read that one. Sorry. Norman Vegas. One of the TV channels is showing the long line of vehicles of Eagles fans that have been lined up since before sunrise to get into the parking lot for tonight's game. So they're already out there at the in Philly waiting for this game. And
Link's going to be fired up.
Link, primetime. Yo, hey, man, thrilled that the NFL's back and America's excited to watch her team open things up against the champs. Oh, stop it. I do declare in broad daylight, in spite of Jarrah, the boys will shock the world and beat the Eagles outright. Take the points and shove them. Wow, Cowboys fans firing. And Kenny, I'm not going to read that. Cade Horton shoves 5 hitless innings, and Drake Baldwin goes 0-4 in the same game. Another successful Horton bump day, as Michael Montesano reminded us of last night. And David Chalafor says, I got nervous when Kelly started off saying, I woke up with. And Tronsky, hey, Gil, happy football season to you today. I'm thinking of trying to take advantage of quarterbacks that didn't play in the preseason. Maybe first quarter or first half unders for teams like the Rams or Falcons. Others come to mind. Sorry about Iga, but Amanda had a bone to pick. Yes, she did. She absolutely did. Oh, and last thing before we get to Tim, we'll get to this afterwards. Can we get Kelly's no-unders list again for the start of the NFL season? Yes, we'll do that.
Yeah, we'll hit that next segment.
We will do that. Tim Murray joins us now. He is not only host of VSiN Primetime, but he also does the college football tailgate show here on the weekends. And if you haven't heard yet, this podcast is gaining traction big time. It's the College Football Betting Podcast. He does it all. It's Tim Murray, everybody, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. How you doing, Tim?
Trying to catch up to the Megapod, man. Yeah, so we're trying to build an empire here at VSiN with some podcasts.
Which of the bunch, and in the moment, I know this answer will change, but just I'm curious, which do you enjoy the most if I asked you this right now at this moment?
I like the Saturday show, man. Growing up watching College Game Day, kind of making this our own gambling game day, leading right into all the contests. As much as I love doing the pod with humans, and we got 3 episodes a week, there's something about being on the air 3 hours before kickoff, leading right into it. And once again, I know that 5 million people didn't watch my picks last week. They were watching Mr. Corso, but I like to think that maybe 3.1 or something like that we're watching the tailgate show.
Okay,
but
3.1.
I love that show, man. It's a blast. Hope folks enjoy it every Saturday starting at 9 a.m. Eastern.
Your biggest takeaway from week 1 on the marquee matchups, Tim, or maybe not the marquee matchups. You're Notre Dame Fighting Irish against Miami or somewhere else. What was your biggest takeaway?
I think my biggest takeaway is I was wrong on Alabama. I mean, I'm not ready to sell Texas stock. I'll be honest. I was a little bit more tepid on Texas entering this year. I ended up having some Ohio State. We talked about it on the Saturday show. I was surprised that everybody in the world seemed to be on Texas there on the road at Ohio State. Not that Ohio State was dominant from an offensive standpoint, but certainly defensively, I think that defense could be the best in the country. Talk about Ohio State. But look, Gil, I was dead wrong on Alabama. This is a team that I picked to go to the playoff. In our guide, I didn't have any exposure on them to win the title, but I did pick them to win the title. Look, it's college football. Could they bounce back? Sure. but that was pretty stunning to me. Not only did they lose, but they got punked. I mean, you look at post-game win expectancy, Florida State was 97%. That was not a fluke victory by Florida State.
Damn straight.
You got to give credit where credit's due. Florida State goes out, they get Gus Malzahn to run that offense, and I thought it looked very strong with Tommy Castellanos running things there, the transfer from Boston College. Tony White comes in. They had defense flying around. But, man, I don't know how you come away not disappointed in Alabama. Real quickly, Gil, I did attend Notre Dame, Miami. Didn't come away all that discouraged from the Irish. I would like to see the offensive line play better, and I think they will. But, man, did I come away impressed by Miami. They got some dudes, man. And I'll say this, that wasn't a finesse victory by Miami. They were the more physical team. They were the bully. But I will say, everyone out there, if you have Miami exposure, what happened at the end of the game? Complacency, very close to the vest, play calling for Mario Cristobal. He held the ball and kicked a 47-yard field goal, Gil, with a kicker who went 2 of 7 a year ago at, I believe, Florida Atlantic. So Cristobal always makes you a little bit worried if you're backing him. But Miami's got some dudes, and Carson Beck looked very comfortable on Sunday night down there in South Beach.
Mario Cristobal doing everything in his power to gack that game. By the way, you see the reports afterwards, or some reports where it's like he didn't know Notre Dame had a timeout. I've heard that.
Yeah, there was a clip surfacing where he, I think, said like "no way." I don't know if it was in referring to Notre Dame calling a timeout with a minute and change to go, but Miami was the better team. I'll say this: the kid Malachi Toney. Oh, buddy, that's a special player, just 17 years old. He's going to do some fun things this year down there with the U. And look, the ACC, give him credit, right? Clemson loses, Gil, but you've got Miami playing well. Florida State played well. Could be a pretty interesting year in that conference when we all thought, and I'm guilty of it, I thought Clemson would win this conference. Still think they will, but boy, that offense, a lot to be desired with the Tigers after week 1.
What do you like this week, Tim?
There's a couple spots that intrigue me, but I'll go to Durham, North Carolina. And I think this Duke-Illinois game is very fascinating. And I know there's a lot of people who are going to look at this point spread and say, why is Illinois only 3? Well, there's a difference in AP voters' minds and power ratings. And this is not an Illinois team that many people have in their top 25. Could they get there? Sure. But you look at the year that they had a year ago, it was very impressive with Brett Bielema's squad winning 10 games. But, Manny Diaz has really done a good job in this underdog role. And this is a Duke program that, look, I'm not going to say they're rivaling Oregon or Ohio State in NIL, but they went out and they pinpointed their quarterback and they spent a lot of money to get Mensa to come in from Tulane. They added some pieces in the portal. They had a FCS transfer from Harvard come in, and he had a big game in the opener against Elon. Look, am I in love with Duke after being tied 10-10 with Elon in the first half? No, but I do think this is this is what you'll hear, Gil. I imagine this will be the old pros versus Joes game. This will be a very lopsided ticket count. I like Duke here, catching the 3. I think they pull the outright upset, so I think this is a pretty interesting one. And then another one that I was mad at myself for missing the 7, and we'll see if we get back to it. Arizona State goes to Mississippi State. This is a sneaky under-the-radar game. Night game down in Stark Vegas. By the way, if you got a moment, go online and look up Arizona State trying to mimic Mississippi State's cowbells. It's very cute. They got some assistant coaches. Ding, 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 ding. I mean, that place is going to be blaring cowbells all game long. And Mississippi State last week, guys, it was a very, popular upset or dog play Southern Miss. And look, I expect Southern Miss to be better this year, bringing in Charles Huff. But Mississippi State dominated that game against Southern Miss last week, as you should. But they were on the road, and they took care of business. A little bit of revenge. Remember, last year, Cam Scadaboo ran for 262 yards against this Mississippi State defense in Tempe, and they had a big halftime lead, 27-3. I think the Bulldogs are feisty down in Stark Vegas, so I'm waiting and hoping I get a 7, Gil. Right now, 6.5 out there in the market. I think Mississippi State is very live on Saturday night down there in Mississippi.
Stormy. on the sidelines in Stark Vegas this weekend as well. Our own Stormy Bonatoni. Real quick, 30 seconds. Your favorite, we'll get you out of here on this. Your favorite NFL bet of the week, week 1 is?
Cleveland Browns.
Ooh,